about how amazing your brain is? Hi, I'm Kerstyn and this is Xander, and today we're talking all about our nervous system. So our nervous system is talking about our brain, our spinal cord and our nerves, and how the messages are sent from our brain around our body and back to our brain. Our brain is the boss. It's in charge of everything. It's a pretty important job. So our brain is in our head and it's protected by our skull. It's very important that we protect our brain and look after it, because remember, it's the boss. It's in charge of everything, so we need to look after it. Our skull does a wonderful job at protecting our brain, but we can also help protect our brain when we're, say, riding a bike or a scooter. We would wear a helmet, wouldn't we? Because that helps protect our skull that's protecting our brain. Our brain sends messages down our spinal cord and out our nerves to every part of our body. We can think of our nerves kind of like the arteries and veins. They're like roads. So they're sending a message to every single part of our body, going to everywhere. But our body also can send messages back to our brain. Our brain is so complex and so amazingly clever that it can send lots of different messages all at once. If you'd like to join in this game, you can stand up and place one hand on your tummy and one hand on your head. We're going to tap our head with one hand. I'm sure you've all tried this before, and rubbing our tummy with the other hand. Who can do it? How clever is our brain to send different messages to different parts of our bodies at the same time? We can make it a bit more complicated. We could hop. My brain's also telling my mouth to talk and to stand up. What else can you add to this game to make it harder? So it's important that our brain is able to send messages to our body to be able to move it in the way we like, but it's also very important that our body sends messages back to our brain so our brain knows what's going on. So say we're running around and tripped over and something's happened with our ankle. It's very important that our ankle would then send a message back to our brain to say, okay, something's going on here, this hurts, and then we know, and our brain can process and know what's happened there. Or say you put your hand on something sticky and your fingers would be, oh, what's this? Send a message back to our brain, and our brain would interpret it as, oh, I've touched something sticky. So we also have these other types of movements called reflexes. Now, reflexes are when our body makes a movement automatically without us even having to stop and think about it. So say something was about to fly into my eye, my body would naturally my eyes would close, wouldn't they, to protect my eyes, and your body would do the same. And that's because we wouldn't want to wait and have our brain to stop and process and think, what should I do about this? Something coming towards my eyes, and then shut my eyes. So it's a reflex for our eyes to automatically shut. And our body has lots of reflexes, things that happen automatically without us having to stop and make a decision about it. So when we're learning something new, it takes time for our brain to learn how to do this new thing because it's never done it before. So our brain sets up a message pathway, and this is called a nerve pathway. So our brain needs to be able to send a message to that part of our body, and that message needs to get stronger and stronger as we're learning how to do it. So it takes time. We need to be patient with ourselves and be kind and gentle, knowing that we will get there. It just takes time and practice. So say like when we're learning how to walk, took a while, didn't it? We had to first learn how to stand up. Our muscles in our legs had to get stronger, so our brain had to set up messages to our legs to get those muscles moving in a different way and stronger. And then we take little steps, and then all of a sudden we're running. So that pathway takes time, but the key is, just like when you're learning to walk, is to be slow and just take your time, be patient, and you'll get there. So to keep our nervous system healthy, we need plenty of rest, eat healthy food, and exercise. So sometimes if we don't have enough sleep, we can wake up feeling a bit cranky, a bit grumpy, and we're not as sharp learning that next day. We might be a little bit more clumsy when we're playing. So it's really important to get good quality sleep and a good amount of sleep. So wake up in the morning feeling fresh and alive and ready for a wonderful day ahead. It's also important that we eat the right foods to help our brain and our nerves and our nervous system function the best it can. So as we know, when we eat very healthy food, the healthier it is, the more nutrients it has in it. And those nutrients are amazing things that every part of our body, including our brain, needs to do its job the best it can. So the more nutrients, it helps our brain think clearer and sharper, helps us to learn new things better, helps us to stay focused and pay attention. So just as exercise is important for every part of our body, it's also really important for our nervous system. Our brain will really function the best it can when we're exercising our body. So just like when we exercise and we're working our muscles and our bones, and our heart is pumping faster and our lungs are breathing faster, circulating all that wonderful nutrients and oxygen, our brain then benefits from all that extra or fresh nutrients and oxygen being circulated through. All right, let's recap about our nervous system. So our nervous system is made up of our brain, our spinal cord, and our nerves. It's important that our brain sends messages to our body so we can do the movements and the things that we want to do. It's also important that our body sends messages back to our brain so our brain knows what's going on. Our brain is complex and so clever. It can do many things all at the same time. It's important to get plenty of rest, eat healthy food, and exercise to help our brain to function the best it can. So the better we look after our nervous system, the better it can look after us. So I hope today you've learned a little bit about your nervous system and just how amazing your anatomy is. See you next time.